Hey everyone, and welcome to the midpoint page of your wiki. Now, let me guess, you have a couple of questions. What is a midpoint assessment and why do I have to do it? Well, Dr. Hewitt here is going to answer those questions for you, hopefully set your minds at ease and get you to work on this project as soon as possible. Now, a couple of important things to understand. The midpoint assessment is part of our NCATE accreditation. Now, the accrediting bodies that come in and license and tell universities that they can actually have a program require documentation like this. So this isn't something that the twisted brains of your professors in the department are dreaming up just to torture you with. We actually have to collect this information to make sure that there is a program here for you to take. So you may be thinking, do I have to do this? And the answer is yes. This information is not optional. What we have to do is collect all of this data, compile it, and report on it, sift through it, analyze the data, and issue reports every year about our program health and vitality, and we submit those to the accreditation agencies. They show up and do big reviews, which they're coming next year, and they have to review all of this documentation. Without your help, without turning these things in, we could actually lose accreditation for the program would go away, and you would not have a program to take. And also your degree would essentially then be of less value because it came from an institution where the program is no longer accredited. So you see, this is all one great big circle of stuff that we got to collect from you to give to somebody else so that we can keep the program, so then the program can be healthy and vibrant, and then it can go on to serve more students and to make your degree itself more meaningful. Now that said, inside the wiki you're going to see a few things that we want you to fill out. The important thing here is that you follow all of the steps on this wiki, that you pay attention to the due date, and that you get all of these pieces to us by the due date. You will actually be required to submit and fill out all of this documentation before you can graduate from the program. Now, this assessment piece is going to come right now in two big phases. You're going to have a midpoint assessment, which is what you're doing now, and you're going to have a very similar assessment later called the final assessment piece for when you graduate. And so you will actually work on submitting these documents throughout the program, but at the midpoint you need to submit your dispositions rubric, your field experience impact log, and your standards and conceptual framework chart. And that standards and conceptual framework chart you will actually continue to build as you go through the program, and it will actually become the backbone for building your final electronic portfolio for orals. Long story short, the more time you put into doing this now, the faster you are going to be able to put together your portfolio for graduation, and the more time you will eventually save yourself as you come near the end of the program. A lot of our students, when they get to the very end of the program, they're taking one class or two classes and they're building their electronic portfolio and they're filling out all the assessment documents. They're doing all these things as their program comes to an end. So the more work you put in here, the better off you're going to be when you get there, because there's going to be less work for you to do. And you will actually build your entire orals presentation portfolio around the NETS Standards and Conceptual Framework document. So I think it's important that, you have to adjust your attitude a little bit here. We are asking you to spend some time with this. If you're a great file organizer, it's not going to take you that much time. If you're someone who has to go hunt for every single file somewhere, it's going to take you a little bit longer. But we need this documentation in. We need it in by the due date. We need it up and submitted in the wiki. And if you follow along step by step through this process, we've done everything we can to make this easy on you and to outline exactly what needs to be done. So we appreciate this very much. We know we're asking a lot out of you, but we aren't creating things out of thin air just for you to do. This is a requirement for us to keep our program in place. And so without your submissions, we can't do that. And so we've had to make all of these documents, the midpoint and the final, requirements for your graduation. So if you do not submit these documents, your graduation will be held up. Now that said, we know you're a great bunch. We know that we expect a lot out of our students. We have very high standards, but we also like to know that we build a collaborative partnership with our students so that when we ask you to participate in projects like this, that we feel like we've built a good enough bond with you over the course of this program that you say, you know what, I'll do that for Dr. Hewitt, I'll do it for Dr. Bennett, I'll do it for Dr. Snipes. And so please take the time, be a good grad student, read all the directions, follow all the tutorials, fill out the paperwork appropriately. We've done our best to provide you with some great examples in here, and then get it in by the due date. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to contact me or your advisor, and we'll do the best we can to answer those. Again, we really appreciate your time, and good luck as you finish the midpoint assessment. Thanks.